Using a gun to defend yourself? The right to kill is growing.
That is the headline from a New York Times investigation by Mike McIntyre, an investigative reporter whose article is adapted from his book Ricochet, Guns, Greed, and the American Way of Violence. Tennessee recently enacted a law that makes it easier legally to shoot someone who is stealing a lawnmower, a bicycle, or power tools left in your garden shed. The statute expands the stand your ground doctrine, which traditionally lets you defend yourself but not your property. Under the new provision, you can kill to protect your belongings as long as you believe the interloper is a threat to you or others. Stand your ground ideas have existed since the centennial. The original conception of self-defense outside the home was narrower. You needed to avoid violence if at all possible. Over the years, as more states broadened the acceptable use of deadly force, opponents have blamed the expansion for rising homicide rates and reckless conduct. In March, Melissa Johnson, a top prosecutor in Missouri, said the law required dropping murder charges against men involved in a 2024 shootout that killed a woman and injured dozens at a Super Bowl celebration. She said such scenarios were becoming more common. Her office has declined to pursue twice as many homicide cases per year since Missouri's Stand Your Ground law took effect in 2016.
This evolution was perhaps inevitable. Since Florida passed the first comprehensive Stand Your Ground law in 2005, the right to defend yourself with lethal force has steadily grown. People do not merely own more guns in America, they now have more ways to justify using one to kill another person, simply by invoking an often inchoate sense of fear. This marks a new era of defensible homicides. It follows a distinctly American strain of thinking in which a person's honor and autonomy are sacrosanct. Throughout the country's history, defendants claiming self-defense have argued that their sovereignty is inviolable and must be protected, even to the point of violence. Another trend also shaped, and benefited from, these abstractions, the proliferation of guns themselves. The roots of Stand Your Ground trace, in part, to an unpleasant episode in Newcastle, Indiana, on Election Day in 1876. A man named John Runyon ventured into town to learn the results of the presidential race. Runyon was a Democrat in a largely Republican community. He favored Samuel Tilden. Outside the local polling place he encountered supporters of Rutherford B. Hayes and quickly got into an argument with them. What happened next was in dispute. Runyon claimed he was physically attacked, other witnesses said it was only verbal, but Runyon pulled out a gun and shot one of the men, who later died. That case helped shape the legal doctrine we see today. Thanks for listening. I'm your host, and this has been a look at how self-defense laws are expanding across the country.